Salute on YouTube. I just want to wish all my Marine friends happy birthday. It is the 10th of November, 2026. We have a lot of shows with Marines on our YouTube channel, Central Florida Salute YouTube, and we'll be adding one more real soon. A guy who was at Iwo Jima. So check us out, hit like and subscribe, and happy birthday.
Salute is a program for and about men and women who have served our country. Our program includes news about the laws that affect veterans, information on benefits and services, and news from veterans organizations. And now, our host, Bob Peters.
Hello, I'm your host, Bob Peters, and welcome to Salute. My guest today is a gentleman that I met at the Carriage Museum with the Guardians of Freedom celebration with the Equine Heritage Institute down there in Weirsdale. And it was an honor meeting you, sir, and I'm glad to have you on the show. Mr. Jim Skinner, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
U.S. Marine Corps. You were born, you were not a native of Florida. You came from...
No, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio.
May 22nd, 1922.
1922. Well, you're in great shape, too. You know, I've noticed that about you. We'll talk about that later. But you went into the Marine Corps in 1942?
I had a little problem when I got out of high school. My dad wouldn't let me go with the rest of the fellas, and he made me work at the American shipyards. I could have been exempt from going in the service, but I insisted on going into the Marine Corps. And he finally signed the papers, and I went August 28th, 1942.
Yeah, how old
Cleveland,
were you?
Ohio.
How old were you?
18.
18? Because I know a lot of guys, my father-in-law is one of them. He kind of got in a little under the age, you know. He didn't even get it. They didn't get their high school diplomas or anything, you know.
Well, he insisted I get my diploma, and my mother, mostly my mother, that was it. My dad was in World War I, and he didn't want me to have any part of something like that, but it was inevitable that I was going to go in.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious, I'm sure. So you went in, where did you go first?
I signed up in Cleveland, Ohio, and there's an article about me in the paper this morning. When I went over the track this morning, they said, well, the Hollywood Marine did it again. I took my basic training in San Diego, so I'm considered a Hollywood Marine.
Oh yeah. So then after basic, did they ship you right over?
No, I was with the first group that ever went to Camp Pendleton. And at that time, when I was there, it was called Santa Margarita Ranch. And then the government took it over and made it Camp Pendleton. And we made a lot of maneuvers there, and they're outside of Oceanside, California. And then I shipped out, and I landed in stopped off at New Caledonia, Samoa, and incidentally, just for fun, I did a 1.5 off the ship, which would have been about 50 foot high, down in the waters of Samoa, and that was the highest dive I did. But I've been a springboard diver and a diver for years.
Oh, really?
And that was the first one I did, the only one I ever did that high. But from there we went to New Zealand, and I was in New Zealand. What am I thinking of? Valentine's Day, I guess, and what comes February 14th?
I think it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's when we landed there, and we spent all the time there on maneuvers, waiting, and we went to Guadalcanal. And I was in Guadalcanal probably in April of 43, and we prepared to go to Bougainville. I spent a lot of time on the canal, and last night I was watching a series that Tom Hanks put on, and I saw some of the old bivouac areas and how we're living. And then we went to Bougainville, November 1st, 1943, and I got malaria real bad. I was in a lot of problems. It was a swampy area, mosquitoes, and everything you can imagine. And I missed Christmas dinner, and they had something on New Year's Day. We got shipped out back to the canal again, and I stayed at the canal until we headed to Guam. And while we waited to go to Guam, we were in Saipan area for almost 50 days aboard ship. And I heard the people coming off that cruise ship down there for 3 days. They didn't have anything to eat and all complained about everything. They should have been that ship that we had for 50 days.
Yeah.
And when we went aboard to go back to Guam, we went to Guam, we were like a bunch of bulldogs when we hit that beach. Let us off.
Yeah.
So that's where I spent my July 21st, 1944, I guess it was. And I foolishly got into a cave. I was a demolition man. Instead of staying out, Boyd and I went in. I put a flashlight in Jap's face from here to that camera and woke up in the hospital ship with, got hit in the head with a grenade. So I survived that and did pretty well. Well, after 3 campaigns and wounded on Guam, where are we going? Hawaii? Back to New Zealand?
Nice resort, right?
Wow! We went to R&R Iwo Jima.
Yeah, Iwo Jima.
Shock!
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. So, did you go in on the first?
No, I went on
group,
D+3, and I guess that's where all the controversy comes because I was aboard ship probably when they raised the 2 flags, and
you didn't have time to notice, right?
Well, I didn't pay any attention to anything like that. I went up the middle of the airfield, and I have a picture on my wall above the TV of a serviceman, not directly a Marine, kneeling on a rifle. And the photo up above him shows an angel, and on the caption below, "You're not alone." And seriously, I wrote this article about 4 years ago when I was writing something about Iwo Jima, and I told this fella as we were running under fire heading towards Modiama Airfield, I said, "You better get your butt in gear, boy. We're under fire here." And he was on his rifle, down like I have the picture on the wall. He was already dead. And that's something you never forget.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, I knew several of Iwo Jima veterans up north, in Connecticut where I'm from. And one guy gave me, and I don't have it with me, I should really have brought it if I could find it, my collection of stuff kind of crawling out of the whole room out of there, it's overflowing, And it was one of those pamphlets they dropped for the Japanese to, and written in one side, Japanese, and the other side, it was written in English, to take this paper and give it to an American and tell them you surrender. Do you ever see those?
No, I never saw that.
I'll have to get it to you sometime. So how long were you on Iwo Jima?
I was there longer than most of them because I didn't get out. I landed February 21st, and I didn't get out till April. And the reason I was in there is because I was a demolition man, and they put me in charge of a couple fellows, and we went out and were showing the Army where we were and what we were doing. And on top of that, I had the P-51 pilots looking me up for tours through the caves. Yeah. They got more damn souvenirs than you can imagine. And incidentally, I had a Jap 25 rifle, and we made a lot of deals with the P-51 pilots. But when I went back to Guam, we went to find out if we could sell a lot of our stuff, and we got a bunch of recruit pilots, so to speak. And one fellow says, "How much you want for that rifle?" I said, $150. Are you crazy? We haven't got any money. And then I thought a minute. I says, "How about 3 bottles of whiskey?" And I heard him in the back room. "Give me this whiskey right now. We got a crazy Marine out there." And we took the 3 bottles, and that was $150 for me.
Yeah. So you have some pictures here from the other day. You want to just hold one up and tell us what obviously that's you in your uniform, right?
Yeah, I've got a lot of comments, and especially I had one when I was doing the Madeira Beach Triathlon. I had a picture of me in bathing trunks all coming out of the water, and the woman took the damn thing, and we finally got it back. But that's one in my uniform out there, and I'm holding these little flag sets that I was putting together and enabling our team to go to Hawaii next May. It'll be 2 days after my 89th birthday, and I intend to go over there and swim and bicycle again.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later. To show the other, this is
the display.
This was the display you had.
This is the display I had up there, and Ron Miller made it very certain that as an Iwo Jima veteran, I was going to have the table by myself and take care of it. And I did eventually get Pat from our Marine Corps League, and he had everything about Korea on there. So I found out a lot about Korea that I never really knew about. And I'm sure in hell glad I didn't go to Korea. It's warm enough in the Pacific, not in there.
Yeah, they got a lot of frostbite over there in Korea.
More than frostbite, I think.
Well, yeah.
And this is my daughter and I, Paula, and there's my Marine boots, and that's my original outfit. And I use that at the memorial service or at our Marine birthday ball, and it still fits me because I tell everybody, how does it fit? I say, do a lot of running and I don't drink beer.
Well, then there's me. Would you tell the people, because I know, but I'd like for you to tell the people why it was so important to take that island?
Well, I had a man come up to me, and normally people would just stand there, and I have to pump it out of him for a question. And this man says, can you tell me the truth about, or as much as you know, about the raising of the flags at Iwo Jima? Well, so happened I have a book with all my interesting review from the day I went in to the day I left there. And in it I had a picture of Ira Hayes, the original flag raiser, and L.B. Holly. I met L.B. Holly because we all took parachute training together, and I couldn't jump because I had trouble with my right eye. So I met him in Houston, and he told me the full story about it a whole lot. L.B. Holly raised the first flag, and I have a picture from our paper of all the people that were there when they put the first flag up. Well, it was a small flag, and they raised it on a piece of pipe that they could find, and then somebody down on one of the ships said it was too small, and they sent up a bigger flag. So they took that one down. L.B. Holly was part of the one that raised the first one, and everybody else in the Marine Corps raised the first one. Not me. I didn't even see it go up. But then Rosenthal was sitting there on the whatever he was on, and somebody hollered, "They're raising this flag," and that's how he got that momentous picture, just at the right time. Then he went back to, I'm not sure if it was Hawaii or Guam, and they were sitting there, and they asked him when they were bringing the photos out, did you pose this? He says, yes, meaning the first flag. And he had no idea what the second flag was until it became rather very important and one of the most beautiful photos of everything. And if the flag wasn't caught at that right time, it would just been an ordinary flag raising.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the importance of taking that island was because they needed it for an airstrip. Well, right. So we could hit Japan.
You got to remember this. We had B-29s. I woke up one morning and the sky was full of B-29s. If you can pick every one of these things up in the air here, it was a B-29 going to Tokyo. That night, when they first come in, if they were pushed out of the way, I was in the engineers and the Seabees. They took the bulldozers. My crew, not my crew, but my company, pushed them right out of the side if they're crippled up all because another one was coming in. And I had to write up in the Sun paper, and a man called me from Pennsylvania, and he said, if it wasn't for Iwo Jima, I wouldn't be talking to you. My father was crippled up on a B-29. He was a tail gunner, and they would have been in a drink. And that's what happened to all the pilots. They couldn't make it back to Saipan. It was just too far.
Yeah.
So that night when they start coming in, it was something to remember because as fast as they come in, one right after the other, then they could fuel up and go on to Saipan and Tinian. I'm not exactly sure how far it was, but it was probably another 1,000 miles to Saipan and Tinian.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing nowadays they can have these drones and they could send them from our country all the way over to Iraq, without a pilot and bring them back? It's just amazing technology and how what you guys did during Iwo Jima to secure that island is tremendous American history. It was a lot of brave men who were there, and we owe you a big thank you.
Well, last night I was seeing for about the third time the War in the Pacific, and there's John Basiloni's wife standing looking out over the sea, and he got killed on Iwo. Been married only 7 months, and he's the one that won the Congressional Medal of Honor in Guadalcanal, and it's very important when I was only a PFC, but when all the replacements start coming in on Iwo, they better follow me, boy, or they're going to get their butt shot off.
You knew where to go.
Mazzoloni was helping all these young people how to carry a machine gun and how not to get their hands burned. But that's what you learn over a period of time. You learn how to survive. And you get some crazy guy that wants to win the war all by himself. He's no longer here.
Yeah. You wanted to talk a little bit about your athletic program that you're involved in, and I'm going to just let you go with it because you started about 1991. You were telling me.
Correct. I was a patient in St. Petersburg at the Bay Pines Veterans Hospital, and somebody come over and asked me if I wanted to join the Bay Pine Panthers. That was a team put out by the hospital for anybody 50 or age or older, outpatient or patient at a veterans hospital. So that goes all around the country, including Puerto Rico and Alaska, Hawaii. I got on a rickety old bicycle, went out and tried to do the 1/4 mile and a 1/2 mile bike ride, and it was an adventure. I hadn't been on a bike in I don't know how long. Then I did the swimming. I did a 25-meter swim. I was supposed to be a very good swimmer. I come in like 5th or something. I didn't even make 16 seconds, if I remember right. So from then on, I went all around the country, and I got better as I went along, and it got to the point where hardly anybody could beat me in bicycling, 1/4 mile and a 1/2 mile. And yesterday, when we were out there at the Carriage Museum, I went out on a couple days ago, and I brought a shoebox full of medals. And what a hit I was. It started out with a little boy in camouflage suit, and he come over with this Marine haircut, and I gave him a medal.
Marines.
And he went over there, and somebody, are you in those Army fatigues? No, sir, I'm a Marine. I made him an honorary Marine. And after that, I come in the next day, and everybody that come around there, the women and everybody else, I was giving them a medal. I got rid of almost a whole shoebox full of medals. And this morning when I went to the track, when I took the medals out, then on the paper was a little typewritten deal, what I did at that time, either the swim or running. And right now, my email is 100m18@embarkmail.com. 100m18 means I did the 100 meters when I was 86 and 18 seconds.
Wow.
And that was one of the fastest in the country. Then I got cancer, and that set me back all the way up till now. Now I'm going to hopefully, now remember this is the senior games, not the Veterans Games. I'm going to Cape Coral and hopefully do the 100 and 200 in 20 seconds or maybe in 42. But then going back to the Veterans Games, I'll be 89 years old, May 22nd, and I'll be going to Hawaii 2 days later if I can raise enough funds for everybody to go. And my goal is to get rid of these little desktop things with 3 flags and remember the veterans, and then missing in action and our American flag in the center. And I take them home in a box and I open them up and stain them and get them all ready. And I've already got taken care of almost the need for one person. It'll cost $1,500, and I'm up to about $1,200. So I'll have one person to be able to go. Now remember, that's not for me, it's for the whole team.
Yeah,
and we hope to have 15 there. I'm not sure, I don't think that many will go, but I'll be rooming with the blind man that I was in last year, and that is something to be with when you're sitting there on your bed and you see something on TV and you say, see that? Ooh, why did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, but I got used to it after a while. He did too.
Yeah.
But when he was playing horseshoe, somebody would get out there and tap the stake, and they're very good at it.
Yeah, amazing. It's amazing what people can do.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is this team you're going to go with? Who are they?
If you look it on the internet, you'll find out it's the 25th Veterans Golden Age Games in Hawaii on May 25th to June 1st. And you'll find it on TV if you look under the Veterans Golden Age Games.
Great. When you got out, you pursued a career doing?
I went to college. I got married. I got out November 9th, 1945, and I went under the GI Bill after I got married in 1946. And incidentally, on our birthday last year, my wife and I celebrated our 63rd wedding anniversary. And they wondered why I didn't go this year to cut the cake and be. I just was not feeling up to par. I would miss her, and it was not the best time for me to go there and celebrate a birthday party that she wasn't going to be with me. So yesterday we went, or the 10th, we went to Margaritaville, and I set it up on the table where she was last year, and I got a bottle of beer for Paul and one for me and one for her, and I cut the cake and put a piece in front of her, and they took a picture of that. That's like they have it where I was at in the Carriage Museum. And I had so many people come up at the Carriage Museum and question things that you never even think about. And it's unbelievable that what they really don't know.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah, and it's they had an awful lot of nice displays. Well, and veterans like yourself, there was veterans there from D-Day, modern day warriors. We welcomed a couple of them home, and of course Vietnam, and it was just, to me, it was a tremendous experience. And I'm hoping that Gloria Austin and those people down there at the Carriage Museum going to do this again next year. I think they are, but we're going to do it on a smaller schedule. We had such great talent there too, you know.
Yes.
We had Homeland.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get out very much, and I really appreciate the time that I did see the case on going through there.
Yeah, that was very moving.
That was something I never seen before.
Yeah.
And it was quite stirring and emotional for me.
Yeah. So
and the sad part about it, with the senior games I go to, I might go there like we did to Des Moines, Iowa last year. It's a pretty sad story a lot of times, and where did this one go? And you just don't know. All of a sudden they're not there anymore. And I was telling my daughter about, I got a beautiful email from this Jerry in Texas. And he sent it to me, and I had sent him something. He said, I had tears in my eyes when I read it. Well, I went, and I was an inspiration to Jerry for a couple of years when we were bicycling together. And he was in line up 2 years ago in front of me, and I said, Jerry, how you doing? And he was just going with the flow. And I found out that he'd been in an automobile accident, lost his leg, and he was an amputee. And I'll be damned if he didn't ride the quarter-mile bicycle. And that's determination. So I saw him last year in Des Moines, and I said, you going to do it this year? He said, no, it hurt too much. He can't do it.
Yeah.
So there's so many stories coming out of the Veterans Games I'm in.
Yeah.
And now, as we grow older, you just don't know where they disappear to. And now it's getting to point Vietnam, and then probably Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yeah. Time definitely moves on, you know. And,
yeah, it doesn't stand still.
No. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming and being a part of this and educating people. And I really thank you for your service.
Well, Bob, one of the things that's so important, and we didn't pass on that, I've been with the Adopt a Kid program for a couple
tell
years.
us about that.
Yeah, that is something very significant. And the first time I went there, I had a little girl, and she won the essay, and I was able to go up there and present her with a little plaque and so forth. But then this past time, I had 2 boys and 2 girls there, and it's amazing what they don't know, but what they want to know. They have a paper with everything on it that asks the questions. And then we deviate a lot of times because they're asking something about an uncle or somebody like that, and you do the best you can to keep it simple for them without getting anything too graphic or anything like that. But it's been very rewarding for all of us that go over there, because it's an education for these young kids that they'll never forget.
Yeah.
And then I give them some of my medals, and they're tickled pink.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, that's why we do the show. We would like to have people like you, and there's other veterans out there now that are watching this. You know, at the end we give the number, and they just leave a message, and we'll get them on the show so they can spread that knowledge, and people will understand, you know, what that freedom isn't free, and,
Well, Bob,
and the great people
if you
that work
don't
for
do
it.
that, it's going to be forgotten forever.
That's right.
Yes, and
That's
we
right.
don't want that to happen in our country. We paid a high price for this freedom that we have right now, and it's sad. I got a communication on my computer about something where the girls are all dancing and having a ball, and the guy shows a picture of them over in Iraq right now, or Afghanistan, sitting waiting for a letter from home, and it goes right on down the line what we're having today and what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine. In that movie last night, Pacific, there we had our greens on, that's all we had, and backpack on the back, and that was all our equipment. Today they're running around with 90 pounds before they even get it in dust and dirt.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I know when I was on EWO, we didn't have a shave or a haircut for almost 2 months. And then we were invited down to the beach after 2 months, and we were invited down there. We got a shower, a shave, new clothes, 2 bottles of beer, and I saw the movie Saratoga Trunk on a big screen.
What a thrill, huh?
Oh, jeez. I couldn't believe they had a movie screen there already.
So you're at the Marine Corps League, that's in the villages,
Yes.
right? Because there's several Marine Corps
Well,
leagues.
this is mine right here, the Philip DeLong. And Philip DeLong was a Corsair pilot, and he had quite a story, and he got killed. So his widow and everybody else, they adopted his Corsair plane. They have it over there on display, and that's why we got this name, Philip DeLong.
Well, thank him for his service. And anything else you'd like to talk about before we go?
I think we covered.
We're starting to run out of time.
I know we covered pretty well everything that
Yeah.
I can think of, and I'll just get off
got-
get off your butts on the couch. I have this stress group that goes over there from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Come with me and run.
I'll tell you what. I'll send my producer over there, Matt, and let's see what he can do.
That'd
Right
be-
now, Matt is probably staring at me.
Well, it's amazing because I hear so many of them, even my Marine Corps League. I was going to set it up that I'll put $50 up if you want to come with me and run 100. If you beat me in 100, we got another 100, another 100, and then two more hundreds.
I'm going to get out of this because I'm not biting on this. I'm not taking that challenge. But we have run out of time, though.
Okay.
And I
thank you, Bob.
I thank you, sir, for everything you've done, and to all our veterans out there, their families, and our active military, their families, for all you do, we salute you. Until next time.